But once you get to 1,000 followers, then you're able to go live. And the power of going live on a platform like TikTok is really it is extremely powerful because you can reach people like that are in your algorithm, that are your tribe.
You are listening to Amplify Your Success Podcast, episode 449. And today, you're going to learn how to claim your authority on TikTok. You ready for this? Let's get started. Welcome to the Amplify Your Success Podcast. Get ready to ramp up your revenue, amplify your impact, and make your mark in the world. This is the show for experts, thought leaders, and service professionals who want to shatter their limits and achieve that next level. You're going to find out from other experts and influencers how they made it. Now, let's get amplified. Hey there, inspired entrepreneurs and business leaders. It's your host, Melanie Benson. And today we are going to dive into the world of TikTok. And I'm excited to bring somebody all the way from Australia to share what is working for her over on this controversial platform. And since it looks like here in the US we are keeping TikTok, I think it's time to double down on this fast growing platform. I'll bring her on in a minute, but first, here's something I know no matter what platform you're on, there are some fundamentals that must be in place for your message to pop, for the energy of your brand to match the desire of your ideal clients, and for you to become the most logical choice for them to hire. I call it being the unignorable expert. And I can tell you this is a lot of fun for me because there's something about this shift from being invisible, feeling like a best kept secret, and maybe even on some level, knowing you're not ready to feel visible, but making these shifts that I cover in the unignorable expert, it makes it so that you can't not be ready for ideal clients to find you. It makes it so that wherever you are in your trajectory, you become the best option for your ideal clients to find you. So head over to melaniebenson.com/framework, download this scorecard and the guide that goes with it. And I would love for you to start with the scorecard. Just take a quick spin through it and check in with yourself. How well are these factors working in your business? Now that you have downloaded this resource, let's get into today's episode. Welcome back, Amplifiers. I got a treat for you today. I cannot wait to share this guest with you. Let me introduce you to Christine Blosdale. Now, she's known as the expert authority coach that gets you the attention you and your business deserves. Christine brings over 25 years of experience to help entrepreneurs and businesses tackle their toughest challenges and achieve lasting success. I could go on and on about this extraordinary human. We've decided we're each other's doppelgangers, but what's really cool about today is she has some expertise in an area that I kind of flip-flopped around in and then gave up on. And I have been so excited to bring Christine to the show to talk about TikTok. I know, I'm talking about TikTok. Crazy, right? Christine, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Melanie. I'm so happy to be here with you and to talk about TikTok.
I know. Well, it's TikTok's kind of this interesting platform. It's got this reputation for like the influencer marketing. It's got a lot of controversy here in the US because one day we're having it, the next day the government decides it's shutting it down. People are scared to rely on it, but people like you bring me back to there's so much potential there, and you are slaying it on TikTok. So why TikTok? Why did you choose that as one of your key platforms?
I resisted it myself for a very long time, and I'm relatively new to the game considering how many people have been on it, and the content creator economy that it's created, right? I mean, don't forget we not too long ago came out of COVID. Everybody was pivoting, trying to figure out, people were being let go, underemployed, all those things. So people had to think of something, and the creator economy really sort of blossomed out of that. And so I said, is it really just all like teenagers dancing in their bedrooms, being silly, goofy? And I spent some time on it, and the algorithm is such that whatever you pay attention to, whatever you lay your eyes on for a few seconds, the algorithm feeds it to you, right? It's like a living, breathing organism.
That
TikTok is.
explains a lot about my feed in TikTok right now. Okay,
Yes.
got it.
Okay. So
Okay.
if you're scrolling and you stop at like little kitties, playing around with a bunch of yarn, you're gonna get more kitties playing with yarn, right? And so my FYP, my FYP page is just full of things that I'm interested in, right? And so which is a crossbreed of a whole bunch of different things. It's some health stuff, some conspiracy stuff, some marketing and branding. But I loved it because I really found that it has a way of if you're consistent, right? This is with any business, anything you do, that consistency can pay off.
Mm.
And you put that content that represents who you are, that you're authentic and you're relatable, or you're extravagant and kooky crazy, the algorithm brings your tribe, your community to you. And these are ardent supporters. These are people that will, root for you when you're down, when you're being vulnerable. You can let them into your world a little bit, and they're very supportive. And it's just an amazing thing, and it's a global phenomenon. I see what's happening with Hollywood. It's reflected in TikTok, right?
Mm.
You may not get it on the evening news, but TikTok is reporting on it. And that was the other thing. I think people uh, lost faith in the traditional media outlets. And I know I worked in broadcast journalism for 20 years, and we didn't have TikTok back then. We had Facebook and Instagram, but that was more for like the Kardashians and the different influencers that we would see pop up. Or on Facebook, it'd be your uncle and your cousins, rooting you on and say, you go, girl. But reaching an audience that was outside of our families, outside of our circle, really wasn't heard of until TikTok came around. So people losing faith in the corporate media and say, wait, what you're saying is not reflective of my life and what I'm experiencing in my community or in my pocketbook, then they were seeking that information from somewhere else. Just as podcasting blew up, we're not being programmed by network television or radio. We're seeking out the things that we're interested in. So it's a revolution. I love it. I every day I learn more and more to what to do, what to not do. Sometimes you stumble and sometimes you hit it. And it's fun finding out what it is.
Well, we're going to dig into that because I think that's the biggest question on everybody's mind. It's like, okay, if I'm going to lean into TikTok, what do I need to do? But before we go into that,
Yeah.
I just want to, I was thinking as you're talking, my best friend, she lives on TikTok. She doesn't post anything, but she does. She goes there
She
for
lives there.
news. Like, and she's in the beauty industry. And so she goes there and she finds all these beauty influencers. And then, that's part of her thing is she literally goes to TikTok for her database of knowledge. And what I think I'm interpolating, if that's the right word,
Oh, I like
interpolating.
that.
Yes, we're going to make a new word today.
It is. Yeah.
um, but what you're saying and what I think is so impactful here is like you have a way to not just leverage TikTok for looking at cute puppy and baby videos, but to really um, establish like your expertise and your authority in a way that can become a lead source, but also you can become an influential voice in kind of a crazy world right now.
Yes. And you'd be I mean, I have been shocked at who I've come across. That's why I've got three podcasts, by the way.
I
I've
thought
got
one was a lot.
yeah, it's like three children. The other two are
Yep.
kind of being ignored, but the new one, the latest one, and I for a long time I kind of struggled with what was that third podcast. I created the TikTok influencers you really should know about. Now, these people do not have a gazillion followers. They're not super slick. They're not perfect, right? Because that's not what this 2025 and beyond is not about Kardashian perfect or the dynasty sort of thing. Sure, it's like a train wreck. You want to see what's going on with the lifestyles of the rich and famous because they're really miserable, but it's about being authentic and relatable. And so the people that I've showcased on the podcast, these are people that are funny, brilliant, kind, I have one I just interviewed just the other day. Her persona is Granny Miss Mary, and it's like she's like from the South almost. She takes out her teeth, and she's that sweet grandmother that would meet you at church and go, sugar, what you doing today? Oh, you look great. The grandmother you want. All right. Now, she just goes on TikTok and she does lives and she talks to people as if they are her grandchildren, her babies. Now that's tapping into something that people desire, right? And then I can have somebody else on that's on the show who's a tarot card reading comedian. And her whole shtick is she does tarot cards live in front of an audience, and she is funny as hell, right?
I
So
think I
she
ran into her, by the way, when I was
have you?
active on. I think I have. I remember her.
I think it's Karen Randowski. That's her
Yeah.
name. She's
Okay.
fabulous. You gotta follow her. But I had her on the show, and we just had a blast and going down a lot of different avenues, right? But you can use that platform um, as your business marketing tool if you want. But just be careful. We can talk about the do's and don'ts. Don't make it a big sales pitch. People
Hmm.
can smell that a mile away. It's the same thing with any platform that you use. If you're constantly buy this, buy me, this, buy my program, people will run. You need to give them something, inspiration, information, education, or motivation, something along those lines.
Oh, those are some good categories.
Yeah.
Let's go a little bit deeper into this, like what really makes TikTok work well. And I actually did a little sleuthing because I wanted to see what your vibe was on TikTok. And I was like,
I'm all over
okay,
the place.
well, kind of, like I could see like how you wrap in. I always call it like your umbrella brand, right? It's like I can see how you pull in the different things that are really important to you. And I think that that is a art, being able to weave together things that feel unrelated and make them really in sync with what people want to learn about you. And you have a specific way that you keep your brand consistent. You want to share a little bit about that and what you've noticed works well with TikTok?
Well, and my brand is me, right? It's not a product. It's not a service. I'm not a brick and mortar business. I'm a coach, and so part of that is being able to connect with potential clients or people that want to work with me, and to show them my personality. Are there other expert authority coaches out there? Are there other media coaches out there? Yes, they're all unique in their own way, but there's only myself who has all of the history, right? Been a radio producer and a talk show host, done the interview thing. I know what I've done, sales, I've done fundraising, I've done all of that. And so all those decades, all that those years of work have created who I am. But I'm also somebody that I like to have fun. So my ideal client is not going to be some stiff-shirted, you know, CEO who's very, we have to be very serious, Christine. We cannot have fun in life. I'm a fun person, and I like to in my work, I like to have fun. So I keep things simple, easy, and fun with all of my clients. And so that energy, I want that to come across. So that's why you'll find a smattering of sort of some silliness, of some family things as well. And then just recently, I posted, being vulnerable. I posted a video that was a little difficult for me to post, but I'm connecting with people that are going through the same thing, and that's gaining weight, not feeling great in your body. I have inflammation. I have this thing where my body is just not. I don't feel great in it, and so I posted a very vulnerable video on it, and I'm already getting really beautiful comments on it, and I can reply to those comments and engage with those people so that they feel seen and heard as well. Because what I'm getting is, oh, me too. I totally understand how you feel, and we can do this, right?
Mhm.
And you don't have that on those other platforms. It's just something very magical about that, about TikTok. But weaving your personality and who you are is really important. If you're going to fake it, then it's not going to be a connector. You might get a few people following you and giving you some thumbs ups and stuff like that, but you want to have that relatability and that authenticity that people are craving right now.
Let me check in. First of all, thank you for sharing that. I really acknowledge you for going there. Being vulnerable and that deep level of authenticity is scary, as Brene Brown calls it. Vulnerability shame is real. I've been posting a lot more vulnerable stuff myself lately just because I'm kind of over all the boring content, and it's like, let's talk about what's really happening. Like I'm about ready to share a really vulnerable podcast episode about my last event and the things that went well, but the things that didn't, and what we learned from that. Anyway,
Beautiful.
but to really lean into what you're saying here, I feel like the world has in a lot of ways lost trust in coaches. And when we show up with that level of authenticity, it's not going to resonate for everybody, but the people that it does resonate with are our people. And it's a
Uh,
way to make us relatable, as you said earlier.
well, that's the thing is like I said earlier, the days of being perfect. First, there's no such thing as perfect, right? As being perfect. And one thing I'll deal with some of my clients who are afraid to do the videos to be on TikTok or whatever platform. And I say just create the videos because the videos can go on LinkedIn, it can go on TikTok, it goes everywhere. You can put it on all your platforms. But part of the thing is that why they're hesitant is they feel that they're going to be judged. They have imposter syndrome, and
Hmm.
a lot of women, my female clients can suffer from that, and they're like, well, who wants to hear from me, right? I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too this, I'm too that. And that's why those vulnerable videos and the video that I just recently posted will resonate with my tribe, because I'm showing them, you know what, it just show up. And and through the good points, opening up, unboxing your best-selling book. Woo! You're excited, they're excited for you, but also saying, you know what? I stumbled today. I have you ever had it where you wake up on a Monday and you just don't feel that juice? You just want to put the sheets over your head and go back to bed. Well, I've had that that kind of connection is what people are craving, because for so long it's been, and you see it in Hollywood, the idols of Hollywood, the celebrity status, it's crumbling. Just as the hold that we had, religion had a hold on people for so many, not decades, we're talking, centuries,
Centuries.
right?
Yeah.
And even, the patriarchy and all the things that we thought we were, our family, my wife and I, right? We thankfully here in Australia, same-sex marriage was recently passed. Uh, but we have the same issues as everybody else. We've got a teenager who leaves dirty dishes in the sink too, you know. So it's a level playing field where we're all welcome to play in the playground. You just need to play nice, okay? And don't throw sand in somebody's face. That's really it. And just be your beautiful self, because there's room for everybody. There's not a scarcity model on TikTok, which is what I love about it as well.
Oh, that is brilliant. Because the scarcity, yeah, that in itself. Okay, so here's something I noticed, and I want to unpack this a little bit. I noticed how you use thumbnails
Hmm.
and how like appealing, like there's a magnetic quality to it. So when people are considering posting on TikTok, there's a lot of different kinds of content they're seeing and they may try to emulate. Why is it important, in your point of view, to use that consistency of a what we call the thumbnail, and maybe share with everybody what the thumbnail is?
Yes. So when you have a video, when you post that video, I always like to, because a lot of my things are sort of are humorous, and so I'll sort of scroll through that video to look at the what the cover photo is going to be. Right now, if I was very, very, persistent in this, I would actually go into Canva and create a professional thumbnail and say, make it look all pretty and everything. But I'm on the fly kind of girl. So I'm like, no, I'm in the mood right now. We have like a Kmart here. And so like I'll do some Kmart shopping and people love that. So I'll be on the fly and I'll be like literally in my car editing, right? And I don't have time to do all that. What's important though is because on your page, you will have all your videos and you can pin 3 videos at the very top. So those 3 videos, they should either be like your biggest videos, people, thousands of people have watched it and commented on it, or it can be a welcome video, or it can be your messaging video, right? You can have something like that. I tend to scroll and I'll change that up a bit. But what happens is when you post that video, you have the ability to put on the cover um, a title of what it's about. And I think that's really important because when I go to people's pages, even if I'm intrigued by what they're creating, if I go to their page and I scroll through their page and it's just a picture, it's just a shot of them from the video, I don't know what they're talking about. I want to know. I'll scroll through and I'll go, oh, she's talking about TikTok. She's talking about creating a podcast. She's talking about something funny politically that's happening, or making comments on the Blue Origin space adventure that just happened. She's so if you're able to title those, people can see them when they're scrolling, and it's an easier way. It's like going to a library. You don't want to just have books with no cover on it. You want to know what it is so that people will click in and check it out.
Yeah. And thanks for unpacking that a little bit because I think this is where a lot of people miss the boat on video in particular is there's nothing that grabs that attention when people are scrolling and so they don't really know why should I watch this video. And I think this is universal between Instagram, Facebook, and really big on YouTube. But I saw how you were doing that really effectively on TikTok, and I know that's a key piece.
Yeah.
Um, is there anything else that's like a must do if you're going to go on TikTok to really make sure you're getting good results?
Yes. Okay. So, and it used to be, I'm not certain if it's still this way, but once you get to 1,000 followers, then you're able to go live. And the power of going live on a platform like TikTok is really it is extremely powerful because you can reach people like that are in your algorithm, that are your tribe, relatively well. And when you go live, you can do all sorts of things, right? I've done it before where I was reading part of my new book. I was like reading a chapter in my new book and just sitting there just reading. People get very transfixed by that, right?
Mm.
I like behind the scenes stuff too. So if you have a process or a system that you're doing with the work that you do, if you can show some behind the scenes things, that's really wonderful on those lives. But the lives, it's a little bit like the Wild Wild West because you'll see people come in and you'll see them go, and you'll see somebody else come in and then they'll go, and then it's like you're talking. You go, "Oh, am I talking to myself?" Just keep going. Just keep going as if you've got a full room of people, and that those algorithms will bring in those folks. But it's a great opportunity when you do those lives because then you can get reactions from people. Hey, type in the comments what your biggest challenge is right now in your business, right? Or give us give us where are you from? Where's everybody from? Those type of engagement things. One thing that I really want to encourage, and you can't do this on any other platform, is to reply to comments, and you must reply to comments, like them, reply to them. Don't just give a smiley face. Actually, go 7 or 8 words. If you're going to reply with words, if you're going to reply with text, 7 or 8 words, so that helps the algorithm as well. They think, oh, she's really involved and engaged. But you can reply to a comment with a video.
Ooh.
Yes. So if someone leaves you a wonderful comment, oh, I'm struggling with this the same thing as well. I'm so glad that I found you. Um, you make me feel happy watching your videos. Well, I could write that back. I could say, well, thank you. That's really nice of you, blah, 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 blah. Or I can hit reply with the video and it creates a whole new video. And I can say, hey, Susie, I see your comment here. And that meant so much to me. You don't know how much it meant. It really made my day. And I'll tell you, this is what I do. So you're you're teaching, you're coaching through these replying of comments. And sometimes the reply video, because it goes on your feed, sometimes the reply video gets more engagement and more action than the original video. And then you've got people that want to comment because they're like, oh, maybe she'll reply to my comment with a video, right? It's like
Yeah.
teacher, pick me, right? It's a kind of vibe. So that's something that a lot of people don't realize you can do, and it's fun. It's even the bad, nasty, even the weird comments that you get. Sometimes those are the most fun that you can play with.
Yeah, those are awesome. I was just remembering when I was more active on TikTok, the comments often that or not the comments, but the people that were sliding into my DMs seemed to be foreign princes sending me marriage proposals, and you're saying you have to reply to everybody, and I'm like, what do you say to somebody who wants to date you on TikTok, right? Which might be good for some people, but
You
I'm
make a video,
married.
you make content out of it, Melanie.
Oh, see, I should have known you when I was more active with her. Now you're inspiring me to start all over. Okay, good. Well, I want to just ask about repurposing. And this
Yes.
is everybody's favorite idea, right? How do we repurpose the video? And I don't know the answer to this, so I'm curious. How important is it to repurpose your TikTok videos or not repurpose them because they're not going to get the traction on other platforms?
Well, I am known as the repurposed queen. Okay, so
How
I,
did I know? Like I teed you up
I,
on that.
you know, brilliant stuff shouldn't just go out and die. It needs to be, put into different formats. I have 5 best-selling books, and I am not a writer. I'm a talker. So all the workshops and the webinars and the speaking engagements and the podcast shows, don't forget I got 3 of them. So all those episodes, I take that content of me, the video or the audio, and I turn them into readable, enjoyable books. Okay. So the same thing with your content, your video content, not just on TikTok. This applies to Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and even LinkedIn, good old
Hmm.
LinkedIn, right? The content that you create, you can be just with your phone and just sitting in your car at lunch saying this is what I'm eating. And by the way, eating videos for some reason, people love to watch people eat. I don't know. I don't do that, but it's a thing. Um, but you can take your content if you do have a podcast and you record it with video, you can take snippets of that, highlights out of that. You can, if you have a guest on your show, you can take snippets of that and create video content for that, and post it on all your different social media, including TikTok, right? You can definitely, if you've done a workshop or a webinar, anything where you're presenting and you feel that, wow, I really nailed that. I nailed that presentation. I felt really good about how I presented myself. Then you can take that video and chop it up, and you can use tools. I use Descript. I love it. I use CapCut. So Descript, CapCut, and for turning those videos into written beautiful things, I use Video to Blog. So those are just some of the tools, and I talk about some of those tools also in the book, with the social media and branding survival guide, which I would be happy to gift to your audience if they
Ooh.
would like it.
Oh,
They can
well,
buy it
we'll
on Amazon if they want, or they can get it for free through the link that I'll give you. You can put it in the show
okay.
notes.
Well, we will link that up in the show notes. And hey, you guys could go support Christine on Amazon or get it free or both because you're going to love it so much you're going to want to buy it for a bunch of people, right?
There you go. There you go.
Okay, cool. This is fantastic. And I guess there's probably a bazillion mistakes, but we probably don't have time to cover all of them. You know what I really want to answer for the people that are listening, because I know this is going through their heads right now, because I talk about ROI a lot and really understanding what's the result we're shooting for. And I think if somebody's going to venture into a new platform, they're like, well, are my people really there? Like, what's it, am I going to be able to attract? And I personally wasn't finding that. So I'm really curious, what kind of results could we inspire someone towards if they're going to get on TikTok?
If you treat it, listen, because this is the thing with I love my little entrepreneurs and solopreneurs and even mompreneurs, but what they figure is they go, well, if I do this, I better be a gazillionaire. In other words, if I write that book, I want to retire off of the sales, right? If I host that podcast, I want to have lots of money roll in because the podcast is going to go explosive. It's it's about establishing your expert authority, right? Your expert authority level, rateness, scorecard goes up if you have a best-selling book. Your expert authority scorecard goes up if you have a media kit that you can present to podcast hosts, radio hosts, television producers, you name it, potential clients. You can give them a media kit. Say, this is who I am, right? So it's about establishing your expert authority, and you need to hone in your craft. And part of honing your craft is your messaging. So that if somebody said, if you're stuck in an elevator for 30 seconds and somebody said, "Oh, you seem interesting. What is it you do?" You'd be shocked, Melanie, that I have clients to this day that they go, what do I not do? Right? I do everything. I do everything for everybody. No. So practicing your messaging, it's a great tool for that, but it's also a great marketing tool, and use it as a marketing tool. You may not get rich by it. You may hit a vein. You may have that sweet spot. Like, you're clever. I've seen people. I have one woman that's featured on the podcast. She had a stroke on live on TikTok.
Whoa.
She suffered, right? A stroke. And she's a social media coach. So she teaches people how to do TikToks and things like that. Well, what she did is that she was very vulnerable and open about it. And then she continued to do videos, even though she was stuttering and really struggling. She kept going at it. Now, that built in her audience a fierce loyalty to say, wow, any of us would be like, I'm not going to do a video because I'm stuttering. My face, half of my face is not working right. I wouldn't show up. I'd be too embarrassed. I'd be too scared. She showed up.
Hmm.
And she continues to show up. And her audience, her tribe are like, I'm there. Now, what she does is she does lead magnets. She'll drop little lead magnets throughout her videos. I'll show you the top 10 things you want to do, the top 10 things you don't want to do. And it's a free guide. And all you got to do is click the link in my bio. Well, she doesn't say click the link in my bio, click the LINK in my bio, right? And so people will go there to get that information. They get into her world, they get into her database, and then she can send out an email or a newsletter saying about her new course that she's doing, or if she's going to do a retreat, all those different things. But it's about massaging your tribe and bringing them in, not slamming them over the head with, with sales. That's the
Hmm.
important thing.
I
But use it
love
as a
it.
marketing tool. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's such a powerful distinction, a marketing tool, a visibility expander, right? We're reaching
Yes.
new audiences through our content versus like, oh my God, it's got to make me money right now. And I love that you're clarifying that. I think this is a place where so many people put the brakes on instead of put the gas accelerator on because they're like, I need it to make me money tomorrow. Instead of this is part of how you're growing the reach of your message, of your authority, and your brand.
I it's the same thing with podcasting. I coach my clients on I show them how to create a podcast, how to record, right? How to get the cover art together, the theme music, the legal stuff that you need to do, how to record, how to edit, how to publish. I show them how to do all of that, right? And in the beginning, it's like having a new puppy. They're very excited. I've got a new puppy. I've got a new podcast. I'm gonna tell everybody I've got a podcast. Well, did you know that the average number of episodes that people do before they quit is 7?
Oh, I thought it was 10. Well, yeah, 7. Okay.
They're so they do 7 episodes, and they're like, how come, they're not knocking down my door with advertisements and offers? Because it takes, and again, it's a marketing tool. You can use it as a great marketing tool. But if you think that tomorrow you're going to, retire off of the money that you're going to make, it doesn't work that way. But you have to build it up and you have to use it. So use it as your expert authority tool. Use it as your marketing platform. Use it as your training tool to have really good conversations. And use it to meet people that you want to be introduced to. It's a great, who can deny if you say, hey, this person that I look up to and I admire, would you like to be on my podcast? Very few people are going to say no. They're going to go, sure, I would love to. You're going to talk to me and about me the whole time? Fabulous. Let's do it.
Yeah, well said. Christine, I'm sure you're inspiring people all over the planet right now to really boost their authority in this way. What's the first step they should take to stay connected to you? Besides follow you on TikTok, right?
Of course, they can find me by going to expertauthoritycoach.com, expertauthoritycoach.com. That has all my books, all my podcasts, all the stuff that I'm doing, and they can also have a absolutely free strategy session with me, so they can reach out to me. They can say, this is what I'm doing. This is what I want to do. Can you help me? I would be happy to. And if they want to rate their expert authorityness, you can be a seasoned pro. You can be somebody that's just beginning in your business. You can take a very fun and simple quiz at expertauthorityquiz.com. That's expertauthorityquiz.com. And they can have a fun little time rating themselves. It's very fun. And I will make sure we get the link to you so they can get my book absolutely free, The Social Media and Branding Survival Guide. The full title is Digital Marketing So Irresistible Even Your Ex Will Want to Follow You.
That's brilliant. That would be something I actually don't want. So, but I get the point, and
Tongue
that's
in cheek.
awesome.
Yes, tongue in
Yes, of
cheek.
course. I love it. Well, I always love to end my amazing conversations with brilliant people like yourself, Christine. I like to find out what's the ripple you're making in the world.
Hmm. You know, thinking about the clients that I have, I think it's giving them a voice, or giving them the space to know that their voice is important, that their message, that their story is important. And I have some clients that are in their 70s, and I have one that's just joined on to my program. She's 82,
Hmm.
and she's like, you know what? I want to inspire young people. I want to inspire young women, and I need to speak out, and I need to have my stories go out into the world, and to be the, not the catalyst, but to be the conveyor belt to get that out, to help get that message out. That to me is gold. That's the most beautiful thing.
Love it.
And so that's what I would say. Hopefully that ripple effect is the work that I do behind the scenes, in the Wizard of Oz, but behind the curtain, that their messages, my beautiful clients, that their messages can get out to the world. That's the ripple effect.
Beautiful. And looking back in the arc of your career as a expert authority builder, what would you say is the boldest decision or action you took?
I would say the boldest, and this was just with life in general, and business followed, is the day that I jumped on a plane. Thanks to my wife, I jumped on a plane in Los Angeles on the last day that they closed the border in Australia, and I made it to Australia right as they closed the border.
During
And I
COVID.
had to jump. I left my home, I left my car, I left everything. I just said,
Wow.
it was one of those situations where you had to jump off the cliff and know that you're going to get caught. And I got caught. I got held up, and 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 now I'm a citizen here in Australia, and I love being with my wife and our family. So
Oh,
that was scary at the time, but I knew that I would be all right. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. And how do you think that affected your business?
Well, it was COVID, and I was very busy because I'm an online media coach. So, it was, people were upskilling, people were, at home, and everybody was on Zoom. So
Mm,
I actually was quite busy during that time,
mm.
although I was concerned for a lot of people, and nobody knew what was going to, how long it was going to go on and all that. But I actually got to work with a lot of my clients that I had in America, just a different time zone, but I got to be with them. And now I have clients in Canada, the US, here in Australia, all over the world, thanks to technology and, the internets.
COVID was very good to a lot of online entrepreneurs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Christine, thank you so much for bringing your wisdom today and inspiring us to go exploring in TikTok and
Are you
reconsider
gonna
being
open it?
there.
Are you gonna open up the app when we get off this thing? Are you gonna do it?
I might. Actually, what's probably going to happen is I'm going to go back to my team and go, okay, start repurposing our stuff on TikTok again.
And go back to your old stuff that if it did well, even if
Yeah.
it's a year ago, but it's still relevant, post it
Yeah.
as new. You'll see it can have a new life. Don't be afraid of posting stuff that you've already done before.
I love it. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you, Melanie. Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in today, Amplifier. We're going to keep this conversation going, and I want to hear from you how you're going to amplify your authority and make a greater impact. Before you go, please take a minute to give our show and our guests some love over on your favorite podcasting platform. Subscribe, rate, and review. Leave your full name, and I'll spotlight you and your authority on social media.